super bad. Dig it.
Welcome to Coffee Talk. I'm Mark Tullis, and this is my partner, Kirsten Coleman.
Hello.
And today we are talking to John Theroux of Blazinspace.
Yeah, you may have seen some of the work being tagged in our posts. They have produced so many crazy, awesome visual backgrounds for a lot of the people that we work with and for our own podcast. So we're really excited to talk to them about their new project that they're working on in Seattle. Coming up this weekend, right? Yeah. This weekend, they're doing this just incredible projection mapping project. We'll talk to him all about that.
John will tell us all about it. I have to interrupt you because I'm wearing my new alabaster shirt, and people who are listening don't know, but people who are watching will see that Kirsten and I are often wearing our friends' band t-shirts.
Yes.
And my previous alabaster shirt was green, and
on the green screen, you can't wear a green t-shirt.
So I finally got the alabaster on the show, my new shirt. We're going to be right back with John Theroux after this. What does Coffee Cup Productions do? One thing we do like no other company is live stream music and events with multiple HD cameras and broadcast audio. A big network feel without the big price tag, in the venue and online. We have decades of experience with events and corporate video, capturing life's precious moments and creating the presentation you want to share with just family and friends or the entire world. We are also a sound company, because that part has to be done right. You may have caught our captivating podcast, bringing you great music and conversations you might not otherwise find. We can also produce a podcast for you. To see more cool stuff, visit our website at coffeecupproductions.com. And we're back. John, thanks for calling in via Google Hangouts from Seattle.
From Seattle.
My pleasure.
Yay.
You know, to get to fly to Chicago this fast, no problem. No charge.
We're working towards that. Someday we will have the funding to get you here in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
Yeah.
Actually, we met John working with my brother and his wife and his band, Screens the band.
Right.
And John did this amazing live video projection. Just blew our minds, and we were instantly off and working with John.
And wanting to work with Blazinspace. I mean, it's just crazy what kind of work this company can put together for you. And we've used it, and we've been very lucky to have shared it with a lot of our musician friends here. So
yeah, John, you can attest to enjoying working with us and collaborating.
I love collaborating with y'all. I mean, you've given me so many directions. I think, when I started doing visuals, it was mostly, it's around whatever event was happening that needed this specific thing. And so at first it was techno-oriented kind of events. And so you've given me the opportunity to, play with people who play music of Steely Dan or of Carlos Santana and the Talking Heads and, just your own original ideas about genres of music. And so, I love collaborating with y'all. You give me great limitations, and I love trying. I love getting the notes of it's great, please a little less trippy.
Yes, do keep in mind we are in the Midwest.
I'm I agree. It freaked me out too. Yeah. So, I love working with y'all, and it's really cool that we have this Seattle-Chicago connection just with music. I mean, I feel nervous to be on the podcast because I know I've watched so many really talented musicians be on your podcast that I respect. So it's pretty crazy to be in the green room with them, if you will.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Blazinspace is kind of an integral part of Astral Media Lab
and Coffee Cup Productions
and Low Flux
Media. Yep.
So we've been building this bridge to Seattle from Chicago. So many strong connections, and John's all over that work. So
for sure,
it's very cool. And it was also really thrilling. I saw your reel again, and it warmed my heart to see, Lotus Kings and big suit on there, and then there's my brother, an Afro cop, and he and his wife in screen. So it's like, we really feel part of your work. So that's cool.
Oh no, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really proud of the work we did. It had to be in the reel.
Yeah, excellent.
How did you get into the video mapping part?
Yeah, can you explain that?
Is an interesting.
Explain it for the people, because
I guess to answer your question correctly, do you mean how did I get into doing visuals, or do you mean how did I get into projection mapping specifically? And I can answer both questions if you mean both.
Well, both are like interconnected, right? I mean, without the visual work, you can't do the projection mapping. So,
well, in a way, you bring up Astral Media Lab, and like Carlos Tolos has like really pushed me, and like he has such a strong ambition for what he wants for his band Screens. So right off the bat, when I first started working with Screens, they were one of the first bands that I was working with regularly for live visuals. He wanted to do projection mapping. He had these tarps, white tarps that were on PVC pipes, and so they were like different little squares on the stage, and they're the screens, so with multiple screens. And he wanted to map to them. And my argument was always, it's not about exactly where the visuals go. It's about what's in the visuals. So it's really no. But it was content.
And then it began.
And then I began learning that he was right 7 years in a row. So, yeah, I mean, I have to give it up to Carlos for really having that ambition. And then, now that I've been doing visuals for about 5 years, I think about 2 years ago, I collaborated with this artist, Frayne, who's really talented. And he was projection mapping, were projection mapping to clouds. And I just, it sort of unlocked for me, despite a Disneyland atmosphere where you'd normally see projection mapping, like Let's Bring This Doorway Alive or something like that. It was still abstract, and that really attracted me to it. And of course, I'm in honor of people like Aphex Twin and stuff like that. The crazy visual projection mapping tricks. So really, I got to give it to Carlos pushing me in that direction. And then once I'd been doing visuals for long enough to feel confident about what that content was, I could walk away from that like ego dream of, well, I'm about the content. And then it was like, actually, if it's just moving lines, and you put them in the right place, and you build, shapes and map to them, people can have that experience of like not knowing quite how you pulled that off, even though it's just one projector.
A little mysterious,
knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoy projection mapping. Has opened me up to thinking of visuals as less of I'm providing light, or less of I'm providing the drive-in movie show behind the band, and more of I'm a part of the magic trick. The magic trick of.
Yes, definitely part of the entire show. It's not just about the graphics anymore. It's about how you get those graphics onto the people and onto the stage and onto the whole thing, so that it becomes like this cohesive artwork. It's all just artwork. It's the music and the stuff behind it, and it becomes like a real visual artwork thing. All encompassing.
And I think a lot of our demos have Big Suit, because that has what we feel is the aura of art, where we like designed the actual video on camera stuff that would then be transformed by your process, that was then projected, then can get used in tons of different ways. So
countless ways.
That's a really cool process.
So
I love that. Well, and the liveness of that too. I mean, like, just for people who don't know that might be watching this, like I sent you a loop. You were projecting it. You put it through the theater system, so it was up on their big screens, and then you were live filming people dancing and making gestures behind the scenes, and those were feeding into my visuals. So it was this real. If you think about the bridge to Seattle and Chicago and how long it put that together, and then it just happens live like that, and people are, how did that, so it's really cool how y'all pulled that all together.
Well, we do have some mad skills somewhere. But we like working with people who have mad skills in other places that we don't, so that's very cool.
Tell us about the Parliment Tavern show that's happening on Saturday.
Sure. Oh, I'm so happy to. It's called The Best You've Ever Seen. This one specifically is called The Best You've Ever Seen, Foxy Brown.
Who doesn't
and-
like some Foxy Brown?
Yeah.
Doesn't like Foxy Brown. If anybody doesn't know, Foxy Brown is directed by John Hill. I think I'm getting his first name right. But Hill had made the film Cawffee, which is this great 70s sort of blaxploitation, sexploitation sort of piece. But, it lands on the right side of that, and that Pam Grier is our hero. So this beautiful, powerful, black woman conquers these evil, racist people. But essentially, Foxy picks up right off of that, but takes it way more into like a James Bond direction. There's an opening movie sequence that's very calls back to Goldfinger and films that had come before it. So Foxy Brown was actually the whole way that we picked that film for this month. The event happens every last Saturday. So August 31st, we picked Foxy Brown because Shayna Shepherd, the lead singer of Bear Axe, it's one of her favorite films. It's just she actually turned me on to it. And I was familiar with Pam Grier and with Cawffee and with the show. But I hadn't delved into Foxy Brown in years. And as soon as I watched it, I fell in love with Pam Grier. And I thought, this is going to be so cool. Shayna herself is such a badass. And so to have her, backing vocals and her band, who are incredible, scoring the film, I'm really excited. We also have Adra who's going to DJ it. It's her first DJ set. So it's a very
exciting,
exclusive, rare experience. And that is not to say at all that like she is testing things out. She knows what she's doing. She has a huge, deep history of music. Like DJs and non-DJs alike are going to be sitting in that crowd like, wow, track to track, amazed by what she's pulling off. And hopefully I can make visuals that are cool enough. I'm only going to be using the film to make visuals too.
Yeah. So real high level, this is essentially you cutting a film apart and redoing it to a live band and a live DJ. And then you're using your artistic, wonderful prowess to like reshape this movie with live music, but you walk away understanding what the movie is at the end of all this. So like you're not losing anything in the translation, but
Totally.
it's just a different way to see.
You're reconstructing the narrative? Is that what's happening?
Sometimes I will show things out of chronological order if, for example, something happens that calls back to a scene that the audience didn't get to see, because you see a scene with audio in between every transition. So the show starts with the movie, and about 10 minutes into the movie, we transition to the DJ. And so while there's music, there's a little bit more flexibility with where the visuals can go. I can show a fight scene from the end of the movie to match the beat, or we can stay at the beginning. But the scenes that you'll see with audio will be in chronological order. By the end of the night, when the credits roll, you'll have seen the movie. You'll know exactly what it was about. If I cut anything out of order, it's only to help you understand the movie better and faster, because I only have so much time to show it to you. And quite frankly, this movie was made released in 1974. So there's a lot of stuff in there. I don't know how cursing is on your podcast, so I'll say stuff for now.
Go ahead.
So by perfect example, there's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't need to be screened again. Even though Foxy Brown's a great movie. So I'm not going to be doing visuals with the rape scene. You won't see it. You're going to see it without that, because this is the best you will have ever seen this movie, So my approach is very much like, here we are in 2019. So if you want to see a movie from 1974, you're going to see it with all of the possible tricks that we can use in our time to collaborate and, just put on a killer show.
I mean, that's so
exciting.
It's so different. And it's again, this complete artistic package of going to see a movie with a live band and a DJ and this projection mapping. I mean, just so
and you can participate.
Yeah.
Just sorry to interrupt, but it's like part of it is dance, but the dancing is up to you. So that's part of it too. That I've been to screenings that are really cool. Northwest Film Forum in Seattle does screenings where, you know, say AfriCop has done a Scanner Darkly, where AfriCop jam while they play the movie. But as a VJ, you know, while I was there, I was like, well, I want to, you know, I
want to do this way. I want to do this. Yeah.
The closed captions. So like there's some scenes that are kind of boring with a band, you know, or like that if you had somebody who's trying to present it to you for this, they would cut that part out, or you would hear that dialogue out loud because it's really important, you know. And so I'm up in the booth with the DJ, so I'm able to turn and say, hey, in between the next two tracks, can I get in 30 seconds of Brazil, you know, which is the film we did in July, and Jamrat would fade down and I would fade in Brazil, and then I would kind of, you know, go back and forth on something somebody said, you know, like, you know, actually my name, you know, actually it was Tuttle who we should, Tuttle, you know, and so we would kind of start to make music with the movie.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
To make the transition seamless. So yeah, very much we're showing off.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, for sure.
John, you did share with us a little snippet of the same approach that you took with the movie Brazil. And this was also done at the Parliment Tavern?
That's correct. Yep.
Oh, okay. Then let's take a look at that real quick.
We're going to go to that.
Yeah, and see what that's all about.
All right, here it is.
So that's what it is. That's what it is, right? It is, I mean, in a nutshell, it is just this recutting and reformulation.
It's a new immersion. It's a new immersion and a new participation by.
And you know, not even to take. I don't even mean to want to take so much credit. Like I'm making such a new thing because we're also just celebrating this piece of art that is already amazing.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And so often, you know, there's so many great films. I mean, as we all know, the three of us are filmmakers that just kind of like fall. You know, it comes out, you watch it, you're like, this is one of the best movies ever made, and it just goes. You know, and then there's films. Yeah. So I love being able to really shine a spotlight on a piece of cinema, and just all month I'm giving focus on it. I'm studying and I'm concentrating on it. And so it's very much a celebration of the piece of art too. You know, I want to give a lot of credit to the movie and to Pam Grier. And, you know, when we did Brazil, what you don't see in the video we just showed is on the TVs at the bar, I had the Love Conquers All cut, which was what the producers cut in the United States, which ended up being terrible and they didn't use. And then I had, you know, a making of documentary with the subtitles on the other TV. So if you were just sitting at the bar, you would have, so we very much want to just experiment every way you could learn about the film, and, you know, people dress up, you know, who knows, you know, I mean, we could go a lot of different directions. I mean, we are going to, we're booked pretty far ahead. So every last Saturday, you know, Parliment Tavern.
And you also have a show tonight, right?
I do. I'm going to be doing visuals for Tiny Orchestra Moments at the Kirkland Performance Center.
Okay.
I'm very excited to work with them. They are some crazy good musicians, and they do a lot of improvisational work on the fly, which visually is my specialty. So I'm really excited to, you know, I got plans, but we're going to wing it. And,
John has so many things going on.
He does.
And
very busy.
I got a show tomorrow too with screens.
Oh, you do?
We were just talking about. I do. Oh. Yeah, August 29th. It's going to be at the Sunset Tavern. Pink Shadows and Dearly Departed are playing. I know I'm doing visuals for screens and maybe one or two of the other bands, but it's going to be a good show. So if you're in Seattle and you're seeing this right now, that's where
come
you should
out,
go
for sure.
if you want to have a good time.
I wanted to spell this out for our listeners because not everybody gets to see this live on Facebook, but Blazinspace is BLAZINSPACE. So
Right.
Blazinspace.
No G.
So Facebook, Blazinspace, Instagram, Blazinspace. The website is Blazinspace. So SEEBLAZINSPACE.com. And then the Twitter is also Blazinspace. So
All right.
so there's so many ways
Well covered, yes.
to reach the Blazinspace catalog.
As my friend Patrick Galactic likes to say, if you have the internet and you remember my name, you'll find me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know from like your standpoint right now, where do you see all of this going in like the next 5 or 10 years? What do you feel is going to be the next step or the next development or the next big thing that's going to come out of this?
Specifically with my
with your work specifically, yeah.
Well, I definitely have narrative fiction ambitions. That's how I got into doing this. So I'm a narrative director at heart. But I think I'm really focused right now on collaborating with as many people as I can. I think the coolest things that I've been able to create and the most interaction installations have been in collaboration with other artists, with photographers, with people who use physical materials. And that has been what I've been finding has been, it sounds a little cheesy, but the way I would put it is, taking me to the next level, where I'm looking on an installation I created with someone and it's blowing my mind because there's so many unexpected things that come out of it because of what they put into it,
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
So I think the future for me is, can I schedule all the collaborations I've started in a way that I can survive?
That you could actually make it happen. Yeah.
But no, I think.
And fly to Chicago.
And fly to Chicago a couple
fly to
times.
Chicago. I want to travel more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many other artists too that I know. Visual artists are very humble. I know a lot of VJs in Seattle. Molly Bryan is a person in Seattle who runs Lucio Festival and has been amazing. I've watched them just use her voice. She uses her voice just so well to like shine light on other visual artists and has a doc of, every VJ in Seattle. And I've really enjoyed sharing that with other people who are trying to book DJs. Halen Blanchard of Earshot Jazz Festival is another woman who's just been like killer at looking a little deeper than just the visual artists who regularly come up and say like KXP sort of circle, which is a great circle. And there's a bunch of great visual artists, but a lot of people get forgotten because we have a crazy amount of talent in Seattle right now, especially with light art. So I'm just hungry, I feel like I meet so many artists that blow my mind every day that I'm like, can we just do something together?
Yeah.
So this monthly is really a spark of that. And I want to do more movie mashup nights. And I have plans that I can't talk about right now that are in the works. So that will be happening.
So one thing too, really quickly, that's very, very important, I think, in a lot of your work is you're making it accessible for people who may have like problems with light or that can't hear very well, or, you're doing things to help those people see your artwork and experience your artwork.
Well, I'm trying to. I think a more accurate way, how I would say it about myself. I would love to just be like, yeah. But how I would say it about myself is that I'm trying to be better at that.
Okay. Well, there you go.
We can all be better.
I think really trippy visuals, there's been plenty of nights where I didn't put strobe warnings up. And so I'm kind of like just coming to how important that is. I've had relationships with people who are very sight sensitive, and I know a lot of people who get migraines and stuff. So light art, it's important to make it accessible for those people. And it's important to give people the right heads up about what they're about to experience. If it's going to be really intense, I'm happy to tell you it's going to be really intense. Some people want that. But at the same time, especially with the Best You've Ever Seen, I haven't gotten a response that's made me do it yet, but I am 100% open to making every single dialogue scene closed caption. In fact, I'm
very cool.
considering just doing it anyway, just so those people don't feel like they have to speak up. But
we often turn on the closed captions here just watching television because, we're kind of deaf now. So
we're all film nerds. It's like, I want to read the script and watch the movie and analyze the cinematography.
Yeah. We do it more out of practicality than
What did he say?
What did he say?
How did he pronounce that?
Wait, what?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the closed captions aren't always right. I went to film school at Rochester Institute of Technology, which is one of the, I guess the right way to say it would be, it's one of the largest schools for the deaf in the country. So I was around that a lot. So I try to kind of think about what that might be like. And live music can still be great for deaf people. You can feel vibrations, and music is very loud. So it's definitely something that I'm trying to make accessible, for everyone. If there were suggestions on how I could make visuals for blind people, I would do it. That sounds really cool.
Nice. Yeah, that does sound really cool.
Yeah.
It really
and I'm sure
does.
there are,
Yeah.
and so that's where I say, like, where I'm going with this is other people. I want to collaborate with other people who have new ideas. I know the ideas I have, so.
Well, speaking of collaboration and all the great talent in Seattle, we're going to cap this off with
two performances.
Yeah. Do you want to set that up for us?
I do. I'm really proud to have shared these videos with you, and they're not mine, so I should definitely set them up. One that you're going to see is Bear Axe playing their song Heroin live for the Art Zone. It's a video podcast, and they did a great job filming this band. And I think you're really going to enjoy it, and you're going to totally understand why not only should Bear Axe be doing Foxy Brown, but why you should know who Bear Axe is.
Okay.
And the other video you're going to see is Adra singing lead with the band Hotels, which is a Blake Madden project out of Seattle. They've been going for a while. They are amazing. Check out your Spotify and everything for Hotels. But you're seeing them sing the song Gumbo, which is unreleased. So it's a new song. This is an exclusive.
The best part of our job is we get to release stuff that isn't released, and people
Right
are like,
here.
I don't know if we should do this live, and we're like, yes, you should.
Right here on Cawffee Talk.
Yep.
To put it this way, you got me here in one of my favorite shirts in front of my brother Michael Theroux's painting.
Beautiful
You're kind of
artwork.
in my apartment right now, in my creative space. So I feel like I should show you something private and special that I have of this performer that I am so ecstatic that wants to collaborate with me this Saturday, August 31st at the Parliment Tavern.
Awesome.
So you're going to love these videos. What I wanted to mention is that the video at Barboza was filmed by Astral Media Lab. So that's Carlos and his team again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah.
Sweet.
John, thank you so much. This was really, really, really cool. Thank you
Thanks
so
all so
much
much.
for being with us. And check this stuff out and go find Blazinspace on all the socials. And, check us out all the time, too, because we were constantly having Blazinspace help us with stuff. And obviously, why. They're amazing, just amazing. So thank you again. And really love working with you and really enjoy this whole deal. And you guys enjoy the next couple of songs that are coming out right now.
Here's Bear Axe and
Adra.
Caught in another lonely place, disregarded and trampled in the waste. I suppose that I might have done you, but I can't keep trying to meet all the expectations you set for me. I can't keep trying to be all the signs set out to see. All I can is me. That's all that I can be. They want me to turn up at a moment's notice. Sometimes I can't remember what time is day or night. Where we going somewhere? Is there a mission? I'm on a whole other what the hell is going on? And what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Is it bringing me joy? Gotta prioritize my own heart, 'cause at the end of the day I gotta be in my own skin. And if I ain't loving my damn self, then who will I ever be? I can't keep trying to be all the things you wanna see. I can't keep trying to meet all the expectations you set for me. I can't keep trying to be all these signs set out to see. All I can be me, and that's all I can be. With all of the pain and all of the passion, and all of the fire in my belly. Whatever I wanna be. I can't keep trying to be all the things you want to see. I can't keep trying to meet all the expectations you set for me. I can't keep trying to be all the signs set out to see. All I can be is me, and that's all I can be. That's all that I can be. That's all that I can be. With all of the pain and all of the passion and all of the fire. All of the fire in my belly. Whatever I want. Thanks, guys.
Cawffee Talk is a Coffee Cup Productions podcast. Find our video podcasts on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, coffeecupproductions.com. Audio podcasts can be downloaded from iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, Player FM, and Twitter. Search for Cawffee Talk, spelled CAWFFEETAWK. Cawffee Talk.
She's mad at me because I got home early this morning. But I thought it'd be cool to have just a second of stardom.
Absolutely.